Let us lift the weight of suffering.
Hey everybody, this is Workforce Gaming. I am Doug, along with my dad.
Hi, Doug.
So, we don't. I don't talk. I guess I don't talk a lot about Destiny on this channel too much. Destiny doesn't change too much, and I think people who like Destiny will go to other reviewers to go listen to like what's the hottest news on Destiny. But actually, my dad and I have played, I think, every single Destiny expansion, starting from Destiny 1, which I think we played a number of years ago. And I don't know if you remember, but I had to. Destiny 1 is a little rough because you were not used to the two-stick controller for a long time.
That's put it mildly. Yeah.
So this was like the game that me and my dad played together, and the final shape is basically the end of the Destiny storyline. I think it'd just be kind of fun to bring my dad on to talk a little bit about Destiny. So I'm going to start with just like, because we're not going to talk just about the final shape. We're just going to talk about all of Destiny, all, what you like and what you don't like. So actually, I'd be curious. When growing up, I did not play a lot of first-person shooters. There weren't a lot of first-person shooters in the house. So what made you go, Destiny, I might actually try this one?
Well, you're right. I didn't like shooting people.
No, yeah.
But Destiny has enough of things that aren't really people,
Sure.
and that was okay with me. And I liked shooting things versus people.
Yeah.
That's all.
Was there something with like the sci-fi setting too? Because I know like we used to watch a lot of sci-fi things showing up. So it's like, let's say, hey, you're shooting cool monsters, but like I remember like the sci-fi. Every time we play Destiny, you're like, Doug, stop running around. We got to take a look at the scenery because you just like the sci-fi stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was frustrating to you because I did tend to wander around. I like wandering. Still do it, and I've done it since the beginning. I just wander, and I'll park myself on top of a building and actually sit there and look around and watch people fight below me, that kind of thing. I still do today.
Yeah. So what about Destiny's particular though? Like was there something about the setting that you like about Destiny that like kind of, because I mean when we were growing up, the only games that we played was like Tomb Raider, Silent Hill, and I think that's basically where your gaming career stopped. But with Destiny, I remember you were talking like a lot about this, the setting and stuff. But like it was interesting because I think a lot of games you've dropped off before where you're just like, Doug, this is like too complicated, which I can appreciate. But there's something about like Destiny that kind of just kept you going. Do you know what that was? Or
Yeah,
is it
no,
like...
it's. I've always been that dystopian future guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sitting here right now I'm wearing a I Heart New Escape from New York T-shirt.
Yeah.
I've always been that guy, and I kind of like the shifting sand looks of Destiny, the deteriorating buildings, that sort of thing. It still appeals to me. Still, that's my favorite genre of movie. It's just where I'm at. And Destiny hit all the right buttons, the rusty-looking buildings and just abandoned stuff. I like that. I like that a lot.
It's kind of interesting because I think Destiny's changed a lot, because that was like Destiny 1 where it had like, the bombed out buildings and stuff, but now it's kind of moved on to this like more, I don't even know what you would call the final shape, as they're starting to move a little bit more into the final shape. But it's like Destiny, the reason I like Destiny a lot is because I feel with every expansion pack, it really changes the look of like what it is. There's sort of a Destiny style, but like every time you open a new expansion, it's like a new world. It's like, oh, this is just like a crazy looking thing. So I was actually always wondering if you were going to drop off at some point, because it just got like too weird looking. Like it got so far beyond what that, like, because I think the whole final shape just got set up a little bit, takes place inside the Traveler, which has been this sort of like omnipresent godlike thing that's been like, we've been following Destiny forever. We never knew it was actually inside, and now we get to go inside it. And it turns out it's like this cool fantasy world sort of thing. So, and I know you're kind of like anti-fantasy. So like, even as Destiny kind of gets in those more like fantastical environments, do you still like that stuff?
I still like. I mean, even in the final shape, we've got the old Cosmodrome is there.
Yeah,
and it's changing because now it has some new Earth or whatever. When we were playing it, we noticed like the cracked Earth cubicle structure. That was kind of cool. I thought that was an interesting take.
Yeah.
And you brought up like, was there any expansion I didn't? I didn't like the Surfer one.
Lightfall. Yeah.
I can't remember what the heck that was called.
Lightfall is the one,
Yeah,
that was the one
Lightfall.
before.
I mean,
it was very
just...
fun. It was very funny because I don't know how much you knew about that, because I didn't want to say anything, because it's like, because we played it, and I think we were both kind of like, all right, but like the internet hated that one, and I knew like you were starting to get like, Doug, I can't do these seasons anymore.
No, I was ready to punt after that one. The nice thing about Destiny is all the worlds are there when you go to the destination screen.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been back except to finish up and get a couple bounties or something and just be done with the missions.
Yeah.
But I live in the Cosmodrome. I love that place.
Oh, really? Like the KDZ area? That's like where you spend most of your time?
Oh, I spend like I'll say 99% of my time. I'll go
Oh,
a
really?
bunch of bounties. Yeah, it's like, what use this gun, do this, whatever thing. And a lot of them are overlapping bounties. That's why my light level was always so much higher than yours.
Yeah. A lot higher.
Yeah, it's up there. I think it's 65 right now if you want to check yours. But no, and that's the part I liked. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. So moving a little bit into the final shape, I think the one thing that like really struck me at the beginning of it was kind of like, I think they kept saying this is like kind of the culmination of everything. And I don't know if I really felt that in the story, but the thing I really did like was just the opening CG thing where it kind of showed as this sort of, I feel like every Destiny boss or expansion is like, this is the bad guy. It's like, this is the real world ending one. But I think the opening of this one showed he like, for a second turns everybody on the planet into like those like horrible sort of like broken statue things before they all go back to normal. It's like, oh, this actually might be like the sort of end game guy is setting it up. And I really, really, really liked his design because I think he was introduced like 2 expansions ago, maybe at this point. But I really like the Witness as like the big bad. I don't know if you
The smoky head guy.
The smoky.
Right.
As a background, my dad spends 10 times as much time on Destiny as I do, and you're like the main bad guy, yeah, that guy. But no, I really liked him as like a threat because I feel like with most Destiny stuff, like we talked about this before, like story stuff, I'm not like really attuned to, but for Final Shape, I felt like I kind of cared a little bit, I guess, this time compared to other ones.
I'll get you. I will actually, if you'd have stuck around, really. I mean, I know how you.
Yeah.
There's a little one that goes back to Nessus where Failsafe has this bunch of missions to do, and it's been kind of fun playing that. Mm-hmm. So that's the other part that appeals to me. There's always something happening. But the Witness guy, you know how well I follow stories, and most of the stories are buried in the things like the raids and buried in the dungeons and I never do those because I simply can't.
Yeah.
You need a true fire team. And I don't do that. I'm pretty much a PvE guy constantly. I just find it relaxing to plink. The Witness story itself, I keep forgetting which one's the ball guy and which one's the smoky head guy, to be honest.
So I guess why do you get the next expansion every time? Like if you don't care about the story, what makes you get the next expansion?
I like it. I don't know what it is. I mean, I'm still using the original probably guns I had in the. I'm a little embarrassed to tell you how much. I think I'm over $1 million on one gun.
Really? Holy shit!
I haven't told you that, but yeah.
No, I remember because I think you even got like it was a type of gun that was kind of like a carryover from Destiny 1. I think.
Yeah,
it
is.
It is. What's it called? Do you know what it's called? The Sunspot, I think it's called, or something.
I can't remember what that is. You're right. Yeah. Got a cool catalyst now that blows up a bunch of guys. So one shot, I get 10 guys. It's like, ooh, that's cool.
No. So yeah, I mean, like, what is it the thing that? So like, you just like it. So you're just like, hey, let's get like a new world sort of thing, and then play it, and then move on to then go back to the bounties and all that sort of stuff. Do you like seeing the new worlds and all that?
I enjoy the worlds a lot. They do appeal to me. I'm sitting here in my mind going through them. Like there's the moon one, and there's also I like Nessus a lot because it's just a cool looking place with flowers, and very edgy look to it. Like everything's square, kind of like where we're at now. But it's a little less pretty.
Sure, I do like.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh no! I was just saying like what you're talking about, like the plants and stuff. I just feel like the sci-fi of Destiny kind of like it reminds me a lot of the '70s sci-fi stuff, with the kind of like weird plants and kind of like there's some areas that are even kind of like silent running and some of those other ones where it kind of like it goes back a little bit more to like 70s sci-fi and those more like psychedelic paintings and that kind of thing. And that's the stuff that's the reason, especially with like this version of it where it's so beyond like what I would think of like typical sci-fi. But it really does kind of harken back to that 70s stuff. So I was always wondering if that was like part of the stuff that you were grabbing onto as well, because it's a lot greener, I think, than like other sci-fi settings as far as like big plants and that kind of thing, which is all very, because the 70s was more environmentally stuff. That's where I feel like that connection to it that I always really, really enjoyed.
How do you even know? Yeah, no, that's a good point you make. I never really thought of it that way, but yeah, it's it's probably what it is. That's what my mind has in it.
Yeah.
the 70s and then the 80s, dystopian, that sort of thing. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I talk a little bit about Final Shape though. I really like the designs of the stuff. I thought it was just like really really cool. Because the inside of the I'm trying to figure out how this works exactly. I'd say correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not sure if you quite know. Inside the inside the Traveler, how it works, from what I understand, is like it makes your memories real. So what you're doing, like you said, you're kind of going through areas that you're seeing areas that you've seen before, and they kind of like recontextualize them as this weird like Traveler version. So like, oh, I remember this part is exactly the place where the game starts in Destiny 1, but now it's like it's all been kind of like bombed out, or like, let's say, Witness and Travelerified. That I really
I'll
enjoyed.
give you that. I remember when we first started playing, the tower was like our main get together place. After every night we played, we'd settle in a tower, say goodnight, and that was it. We were both a little depressed when it got destroyed.
Yeah, that's how Destiny 2 opens. It's like, actually, I think the first level is that it getting blown up. Yeah.
And now you can sit there in the Destinies and look back at the busted tower. And now in the Final Shape, the tower's back, but overgrown, like it feels like hundreds of years later, because the mosses have taken over and that sort of thing. But it's still the tower.
Yeah.
And I do like that.
No, it was cool. I know it was cool, like coming back there and like seeing that, because it's not like the tower, but it is kind of like your main hub for that area. I think after a while,
right?
And it is kind of neat going like, I think, because you're kind of going on like Destiny 1, where it's like, I think if I went over here, there was something there, and it's like kind of a newer version, overgrown version of that. That looks really really cool. I did like that.
No, I agree. And that was even in the old tower. There was a set of stairs that I used to just sit on, watch the action in front of me. Yeah. And that little stairs is now broken, and there's a little bit of moss growing, and that sort of thing. Yeah, no, I enjoyed the heck out of the new tower. And I did like how they took even the lands you're familiar with, and once you're in the Traveler, where they're like kind of subdivided, and by saying that I mean they're cubical.
Yeah, like literally subdivided. Like the land is like literally subdivided and like split up. Yeah, split up in these very very cubic shapes.
Is
so
good,
like when you like look out at the thing, you see a bunch of like cubes of like almost like little, I don't know how else to describe it. It's a very cool art style. It's hard to describe.
And it makes it frustrating for me because one of my talents was jumping. I keep falling into cracks, and there's Doug waiting for me. But I do like that.
Yeah,
I think the appearance of it is really kind of fantastic. That's the thing I've been doing lately, is just climbing to the top of the highest cube I can get to, and it's it's still very cool.
Yeah. The one thing I thought that was really interesting about this expansion pack is that it wasn't just shooting guys. There's a lot of stuff like, oh, this guy's shield is up, so we have to do like a very specific sort of thing, like collecting these things and putting it there, or shooting this monument, or doing that stuff. So I was actually curious. I really like that stuff because I thought it like was more, every mission felt like, okay, there's something unique to this mission that I have to learn. But I know you just like shooting guys. So how did you feel? Because it feels like they're bringing kind of those like raid mechanics to the masses. And so how did you feel kind of using like, okay, got to shoot this thing, got to do that?
I was very glad you were there. Because there's the pink pools and the white pools and the shields, and I had no idea what I was doing. I remember half of our conversation is, Doug, what are you doing to do that? And you would say, come over here. It's okay, I'm there. I had no idea. That's how I was just the shooting the masses guy.
Yeah.
The mechanics frustrate me because basically I'm a single player.
Yeah.
And there's just no way I could have picked up the shield, done the shooting, put the shield on. I was so lost. I'm so glad you were there. That was when I was just happy.
No, I appreciate it. No, I do like playing these expansion packs with you. Like I said, we talk about a lot of the stuff we're talking about is like we've talked about offline as well. I do like playing through the expansion packs with you. I think they're really fun to go through that stuff.
Well, if I can get you back.
I did see that the final thing you're talking about, the stuff on Nessus. It's like, crap. It's like the Witness is gone, but there's some other stuff going on. It's like, all right, I'll finish up that a little bit.
Well, that's when you were saying the end of Destiny. Yeah, if you keep going into there,
yeah, that's actually the problem with like these kind of games and these stories is like they have to have some sort of world-ending threat, but then they have to have another expansion. So it's just like and then there's another world-ending threat. There's a lot of world-ending threats, and there's like, I don't know how many, maybe 10 expansions. I think there's been at least 10 world-ending threats. So it is a little bit weird, the story trying to follow everything. The one thing I did think was kind of funny about the story, because I know you've been doing the seasonal stuff, is it seemed like all the missions were kind of broken out of like, okay, we're gonna follow these guys for a little bit. You remember these guys from the season of the Pirates? I had not done any of the seasons of the Pirates. I was like, I have no idea who these guys are. I don't know who we're avenging. I don't understand what's going on at all. And then you go over here and then you meet up with like, you know, you do a few missions with like Zavala and a few missions with Kay and a few missions with that. I really did like how that was broken up this time. I don't know how you felt about all that with like kind of going back and seeing all your old buds throughout all your different seasons and stuff.
I do enjoy that. I got to admit. I mean, when Cade came back, I'm like, ooh, cool. You know, I like Cade's sarcasm and such. I'm still not a Crow fan, but he's just he reminds me of Darth Vader in the third series. But anyway, I like them coming back, and I do like the reoccurrence of them. But it does get kind of silly with like, well, who are they going to take out this time, or who are they going to bring back this time? Cause it was the lady on the docks. I can't remember.
Amanda.
No, not Amanda. I can't remember. The lady who brought the whale back with the big eye.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of smoky.
Yes. Yeah, I know what you're talking. It is weird with the game because it is like, well, it's like kind of like the comic book thing where it's like, is the character dead, or are they coming back in a later season or whatever? It's like it would be kind of cooler if they were dead, and kind of thing what they did with like Cade and Crow. It is a bit weird with Cade and Crow's relationship for this DLC because and I was asking you about this because I feel like I missed something. In a previous DLC, Crow had shot Cade in the face and killed his ghost. And in this one, they're just best buds.
Well, one of the opening cutscenes in Final Shape is Cade's got the drop on Crow and about to do the same thing. Yeah. And all of a sudden it just stops and they're buddies. And it's like, wait a minute. I had taken Crow out and said, we're good.
Yeah.
I don't understand that good buddy thing at the end either.
No, they're yeah. I mean, they kind of work through it like a little bit, but it's like they're buddies up. They buddy up pretty quick after like.
Yeah, that's putting it mildly. It's like, what the hell? Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. It is funny though, like playing through, because I did not do a lot of the seasons. I was just like, it's just some of that stuff was like totally over my head. It's like, why can Crow do this now? Why does this guy do this thing? And it's funny because I play all those expansions. I just don't do the seasons, but I figure it's rewarding for people who do go through all that stuff. Although you also play all the seasons, you're like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, every time you ask me about this story, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, how do you feel about like the prospect of like Destiny ending? So like, I know you're saying it's not, you got to play this like little thing and like, there's probably not gonna be another expansion pack, but just like, if Destiny, do you want Destiny to end at some point? Like, how do you feel about all that?
Well, that's storyline again, and I'm not worried about the storyline. I think the servers are going to be up forever, but I get where you're coming from. The story itself ending, I'm not worried about it.
Yeah. Because
the way I play Destiny, it's always going to be there, and I'm not too worried about the final shape being the final shape. Because really, just do the next one with failsafe, dude. You're fine.
There's more stuff coming.
Yeah. There's more coming.
I mean, do you want a Destiny 3 or anything like that? Like, do you have any interest in a Destiny 3, or just like, I'll just play Destiny 2 till whatever?
Oh, if there's a Destiny 3, here we go again. It's like, yeah, I'd buy it. It's every time you guys wanted to see another movie expansion, it's like, okay, we'll go see that one too. You know.
I think the last movie I saw with you was like Thor or something like that. And you're like, what was that? But yeah, no. So I mean, like, are you like, if they're like, hey, Destiny 3 is a PS5, you're gonna go out and get a PS5 and do all that?
Well, that's a different question. I don't think I'll ever get a PS5. If it came no, because I'm in that box with Tomb Raider right now.
Yeah. Oh, you're just waiting for the yeah.
I don't think I'll do that. I don't really. I'm not tech at all. I don't really care what it's being played on.
Sure.
I know you are. Sorry, I'm just not.
Yeah. No, it's okay. But I feel like you say that, and then if I said, hey, Dad, I got a copy of Destiny 3 in my hand, do you want to play? I feel like you'd probably go out and get a PS5 that day.
Well, I'll be honest with you. If you were playing with me on a PS5 and Destiny 3, I would go buy it.
I know you would.
That's a different story.
We'll play Destiny 3. There's plenty of these sort of like service games in the future, though. I think Destiny's the only one that we're going to be sticking with. But we'll see.
Come on, it's not that bad. It's really.
I do. I play the expansions, and I'm just done. I can't do the seasons.
Well,
I just can't.
The way this one just ended, the story's done. Bye, Dad. See you tomorrow. All right. You didn't even think of sticking around. It's like, I don't think you even can your ponies.
I can't do that. I can't do it. I also have to play. Well, it's not that I have to, but it's like if I have a video game channel where I play like a bunch of different games. If I was just play, there was the thing that's weird about these games. Like Destiny could just suck up all of your gaming time. And so that's like the only, like a lot of people do that though. Like they'll play Final Fantasy 14, or they'll play Destiny, and like they'll just be their game, and that's what you do, which is fine.
Correct.
I like to play a lot of different games, so I just like can't do that stuff. I mean, I can. It's just like I don't find it as interesting as playing. I mean, if I sent you some of the weirdo games that I've played, I don't know how much you'd enjoy them.
Well, you've dragged me into a few games on the side too.
That is true.
I mean, you keep saying I only play, but I do play others.
You did play Season. I was very impressed by you playing through Season, and what's the other one you played through recently? One of the Jedi games. I think you actually beat Jedi and God of War stuff. I just think that was kind of cool.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm there, but Destiny. I'll always go back to Destiny. There's something very relaxing about it in general to me.
Yeah, it is a cool game. I do enjoy it. So I guess we'll see to the next expansion. I know you'll tell me what's going on there in these seasons, and then you'll let me know who the new big bad is.
I can tell you right now who it is.
Oh, you actually do know?
Oh yeah, you'll find out real quick.
Okay, that's cool. All right, well maybe fine. I'll play the little.
All right, fine.
All right, fine. All right. We are Workforce Gaming. You can please leave a comment below, subscribe to our channel, and there's a link to our coffee below in the description. We'll see you later.
See you, bud.
Bye. No, thanks. See ya.